Okay, we are still under the quadratic equation, and now we're going to look into the maximum, minimum values and the line of symmetry. Before we go into that, this can be obtained by using the complete square method, as we all know that y under, if you are considering the graph, this graph, the general equation of quadratic formula, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, turns to y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Why are we talking about that? The reason we are talking about that is we need the value of a and we need the value of these variables x and y. What happened when a is at the maximum and what happened when a is at the minimum? What happened to y and what happened to x? So that is what we're going to do. Then, before we go into that, what we have to think about is what is this really telling us? What do we understand by the line of symmetry? The line of symmetry is a line that divides this graph into two, and we're going to look into that. Now, how do we get all this? I'm going to show you the trick. The trick is that we're going to solve this as if we are doing the complete square method, and the value of y there is what we needed to get us into the maximum value and the minimum value, and also the line of symmetry. But the first thing to do is to go into this. But what I normally do is, when I'm doing the complete square method, I don't want to see a in here. So what I will do is to divide this is the left hand side and this is the right hand side. Divide the right hand side by a. And if you do that, we're going to have x squared plus b over ax plus c over a. After we have done that, we take this to the left hand side because it doesn't belong here. So we have y minus c over a equals x squared plus b over ax plus b over ax. The next thing to do is to look at the coefficient of x, divide the coefficient of x by 2, you square it. After you have squared it, add it to both sides. You're going to have it to the left hand side and the right hand side. By doing that, we have y minus c over a plus b over 2a. The coefficient of x, I divided by 2 and I square it. I add it to both sides, to this side, and I'm also going to add it to this side. X squared plus b over ax plus b over 2a. I'm adding it to both sides. So having done that, I am going to remove this. Having done that, so what do we have? We're going to have that y minus c over a plus b over 2a squared be equal to, I'm going to turn this one back to perfect square, and when I do that, I'm going to have x plus b over 2a all squared. This, if you expand this, you're going to have this back. That is the essence. So if you have done that, the next thing is to say y minus c over a plus b squared over 4a squared. B squared over 4a squared will be x plus b over 2a, all this. This way, what do we do next? What we do next is to say y, I'm going to find, let me turn this one to b plus b squared over 4a squared minus c over a equals x plus b over 2a. So let's quickly go into y plus, I look into the LCM here is 4a squared. The LCM here, I'm talking about this. The LCM here is 4a squared. So 4a squared to 4a squared, we have b squared. We have b squared minus 4ac, because 4a squared divided by a will give us 4a, multiplied by this to give us 4ac, equals x plus b over 2a, the 2 all squared. So I'm going to remove this. Let's see what this is going to give us. So I'm going to take this back to the right hand side. So in that way, we're going to have y equals x plus b over 2a squared, and this one becomes minus b minus 4ac over 4a squared. Fine. And this one can also be written as x plus b over 2a all squared. If I turn this one can be turned to plus, and when that comes to plus, I'm going to have 4ac minus b squared over 4a squared. I'm going to have 4ac minus b squared over 4ac, because I want to get rid of this minus there. So this is the same. I just rearrange them. So what next? So this is my y. My y is this. So this is what I need. I need this. But before I do that, I need the value of a from the beginning that I used to divide through the right hand side. So I'm now going to multiply I'm multiplying it back. Multiply the right hand side by a, and if I do that, my y becomes a into bracket x plus b over 2a squared plus 4ac minus b squared over 4a, because I multiply it with this and I multiply with this. So this is what I have. So now this is the value of y that we are going to use for our minimum, the maximum, and the lines of symmetry. So what does this is telling us is that at the maximum, a is less than 0, y is greater. At the minimum, a is greater than 0 and y is less than 0. And when we know that, that means that when a is at the maximum, y is less, because a tends to pull this down, so y is less. At the minimum here, y is at the maximum. And what happened to the value of x? The value of x here. So at the maximum, a is less than 0 as soon as x plus b over 2a is equal to 0. As it's becoming 0, a is at the maximum. I said that happens, all those happens when x plus b over 2a becomes 0. And this is the line of symmetry, when x plus b over 2a becomes 0. So therefore, s equals minus b over 2a. That is why when you see the graph that was drawn, the graph that goes this way, this is the minimum, and this is the minimum. At minimum here, a is greater than 0. At the maximum here, a is less than 0, and here y is less than 0. Y is at the minimum. Sorry, y is at the maximum. Y is at the maximum. Here, y is at minimum. Y is minimum here, and a is greater than 0. Y is maximum here, and a is less than 0. You see this line here? This line here is x equals minus b over 2a. This line here is x equals minus b over 2a. So this line here is the line of symmetry. So that is that about that. Once we know this, we should be able to handle maximum, minimum value, and the line of symmetry. We're going to look into example under this. Solve this example of the maximum, minimum, and the lines of symmetry. The solution to this. As we all know, y equals 3x squared minus 2x minus 3. The best thing to do is to divide the right hand side by 3, and that's what I'm going to do. Y equals, if I divide the right hand side by 3, we're going to have x squared minus 2 over 3x minus 1. That is what we're going to have. The next thing is to take this to this side, because we are going in the way of completing the square method. Take this to this side, so we're going to have y plus 1 equals x squared minus 2 over 3x. The next step is to take the coefficient of x, divide the coefficient of x by 2, square it, add it to both sides. So that's what we're going to do. We have y plus 1 plus the coefficient of x will be minus 2 over, if I divide it by 2, that will be 2 over 6 into square equals x squared minus 2 over 3x plus minus 2 over 6 all squared. That is what we have done. We haven't done anything to any of them, because they are the same. So having done that, we now see that y plus 1 plus, this is 2 here, 1, 2 here, 3. We have this as minus 1 over 3 squared equals, we can turn this to perfect square to become, and this one is going to go 1 over 3. So become x minus 1 over 3 all squared. So if you expand this, we're going to have, let me just do it this way, because this is still going to give us minus 2 over 6 all squared. Having done that, so this becomes that y plus 1 plus, because if you expand this one, it's going to give us plus 1 over 9 equals x minus 1 over 3. I did that because I don't want any question, because if you expand all this, you're going to have this. That's why I didn't go into 1 over 3 from here. So having done that, the next thing to do is to look at it this way. Y plus, this is 9 plus 1 to give 10 over 9 equals x minus 1 over 3 all squared. right? So the next thing is to take this back to where it was before. So we have y equals x minus 1 over 3 all squared minus 10 over 9. What next? The next thing we're going to do is to ensure that the 3 that we used to divide through by the right hand side, we turn it back into where it was. So we have y equals, turn the 3 back, 3 into bracket x minus 1 over 3 all squared minus, I use that 3 to multiply the right hand side. So I multiply the right side by that 3. I multiply with this one, so I have to multiply with this one. And when I do that, I'm going to have 3 times 10 . So I'm going to write this out. Y equals x minus 1 over 3 squared minus 10 over 9. So the next thing is multiply the right hand side by 3. And if you do that, we have y equals 3 into x minus 1 over 3 squared minus 3 times 10 over 9. So 3 here, 1, 3 here, 3. So we have y equals 3 into x minus 1 over 3 all squared minus 10 over 3. So this is where we are going. This is where we are going. And from the general equation, we know that y is equal to a into bracket x plus b over 2a all squared minus or plus 4ac minus b squared over 4a. This is what we have. If you compare that, and we say that a is at maximum. If you look at it now, a is at maximum here. When a is at maximum here, y is at minimum. When a is at maximum, y is at minimum. And when y is at minimum, when a is at maximum, this value x plus b over 2a becomes 0 as a is at maximum. So if we look at this, we see that a here is greater than 0. A here is greater than 0. And so far that a is greater than 0, what happened? The y is at minimum. A is greater than 0, and since a is greater than 0, y is at minimum. And it happens when x plus b over 2a becomes 0. So we have 3 factors now. This is the first one, this is the second one, and this is the third one. We have 3 factors. So the first factor says that a is greater than 0, and y is going to be minimum at where? At here. Because in the general equation, y becomes minimum at here. So that means that y becomes minimum at y equals to minus 10 over 3. Y it becomes minimum. So what happened to x? X minus 1 over 3 becomes 0. And this is the line of the symmetry at when x equals 1 over 3. I hope we understand that. So three factors are there. When a is greater than 0, y is minimum. And where does that happen? It happens when x plus b over 2a tends to become 0. So the same thing here, I'm using this one. When a is greater than 0, this becomes minimum. And it happens when x plus b over 2a becomes 0. So the same thing here, we have 3 things. A greater than 0, y is what? Minus 10 over 3. And x, which is the line of symmetry, this is the equation for the lines of symmetry. X minus 1 over 3 equals 0. X equals 1 over 3. That is, assuming that here is a negative. If here is a negative, what happened? That means that a is less than 0. And when a is less than 0, y is at maximum. And when y is at maximum, it occurs when x plus b over 2a, whatever that is here, equals to 0. Thank you very much. I think we should be able to stop here. But without taking too much of your time, I appreciate you, my viewers, people that already subscribed to my channel. I'll be very grateful if you can subscribe to my channel. In that way, you'll be able to receive notification as soon as my video is dropped. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. Before then, peace out.